Mr. Mamabolo, good evening, and thank you so much for your time on News at Prime. Firstly, if I can get maybe just some of your reflections over what has happened in the last week and the issues that are now concerning some of your colleagues around tender irregularities and corruption.
Well, firstly, good evening to you and to all the viewers. Let me just very briefly say that I think it's important to commend the provincial leadership of the provincial government and, of course, the entire leadership in the province for making very important announcements that really, I think at this point we should all rally behind those, because I think there's been firm commitment demonstrated to deal with the issues that have come up relating to allegations of corruption on the procurement of COVID-19 items and material. And that secondly, I think there's been a reassurance about making sure that we intensify, scale up and consolidate the good work that the provincial government has been doing to manage and contain the spread of COVID-19. So on those two aspects, I think we must give due where it is well deserved. And I think as a province, we now have a much more better opportunity to unite all of us to rally behind in the context of what the President of the Republic has said. Fighting COVID-19 is in all of us hands. And I think we must have our hands on the deck. We must have our eyes fixed to the task. And I think it's now an opportunity really to unite ourselves and make sure that we continue to flatten the curve. That for me constitutes the essence and what matters most in terms of where we are now.
Do you think that this situation has been dividing society and perhaps even part of what's going on in the tripartite alliance that we as the public don't have access to, that we wouldn't ordinarily see?
The point I'm just making is that the overarching, overriding, critical principle is the battle to fight COVID-19 is in all of us hands. The matters that have came up, obviously, they have created a bit of a disturbance in the normal course of the work we have been doing. But I think we're found now with the announcement by the Premier, the announcement that is made by the Alliance itself in the province. And I think when I look at what public sentiment has been, I can without any shade of doubt say we are now back on consolidating the work that we need to do, and the matters that have really been, causing great concern across the wider space in the province. I think those matters have been brought into a better process. And all what I'm saying is, let's rally behind what the President said. Fighting COVID-19 is all in all of us' hands. And I'm appealing that let's focus on that. And the issues have been really ventilated, dealt with. We now have to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to work hard and work even much more harder to make sure that we save lives, we defeat the spread of COVID-19, and definitely.
Of course, there's never a good time for corruption, but this situation certainly couldn't have come at a worse time for Gauteng. We're about to reach the peak of the pandemic. You come in, it leaves you very much in the deep end. What's your approach to the next 4 weeks going to be?
Yes, let me just also take the opportunity to strongly condemn corruption. And basically that's what I was saying, reaffirm the good announcements that have been made, and as I'm saying, let's continue to focus on the good way. The approach now is that obviously it's still too early. The Premier has just made the announcement this afternoon, but tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning is a very important meeting with the management and the HOD of the department. We need to understand where things are, what can be done to really build up on the good work that MEC Dr. Bandile Masuku has been doing with the team. And to that extent, I think one is looking forward to really an exciting period in which we will consolidate the good work done but bring new innovation, creativity, and make sure that the principles that constitute the core of our country's constitution that governs public administration, how public institutions must be run, I think should be able to help us to make sure that as we fight COVID-19, we do so in the context of the founding principles of our constitution and the expectations of the people, do so in the most ethical manner, and make sure that we can be able to deliver on the core task of that department in the short period that we have, and make sure that we don't drop the good work that has been done, but we only have the opportunity to scale up and to improve. That is the only option we have, and I'm quite sure that starting tomorrow 7:30, we should be able to pull the team together and do exactly what I'm saying, that as a department, as the provincial government, as the people of the province, all of us have a very good opportunity to look forward and to make sure that we save lives, and nothing should detract us from that very strategic task. And that's my appeal to everybody. Let's look at the good work. I think the issues of corruption, the Premier has dealt with those issues. The leadership of the Alliance has dealt with those issues. And I'm quite sure that we should be able to move forward.